I guess I should say good evening, welcome to the Franchise Time Machine. I'm in the middle of a speed draft here. Just have to knock this out before starting the stream tonight. It would have fired during the stream. That's why I'm doing this now. See, I've got 8 pictures. I need 4 more. All right, none of these picture choices are great. We're just going to have to grab some. And then what do I need? Okay, good. Looks like I could use an outfielder. I'll go with Cardinal. And we are done. I'm going to just set my strategy up. I can do the other stuff later, even after the tournament fires. Okay. Sorry about that. Usually I try to get that stuff done before I stream, but let's put the title slide up. All right. Sure. I think that Ezra Denny rating in a minute here, so I'm just going to hold off until he comes in. Sounds like Ezra Denny's about to rate it, so we'll just wait for him and then we'll get started. Hello, Ezra. Welcome, Raiders. Thank you, Ezra Denny, for the raid. I appreciate it.
Why do you keep following
As
me
always, I
around?
enjoyed watching Richie Ashburn torture your 1959 San Francisco Giants. Franchise Time Machine for the win. Thank you. P Boom is going to franchise my time machine. So tonight we're going to do a continuation of a couple topics from previous sessions. We're going to do a second pack ripping session. So I'm tracking pack ripping results to expected value of pack ripping. And towards the end of the session last night, Charles, aka Warbot TBD, came in. He does a lot of modeling in both the base game and Perfect Team. And I didn't know that he also has modeled some pack ripping stuff. And he brought up an interesting point, which was, can we do 25 Richie Ashburns against the Giants? I think we should do 14 Richie Ashburns, and then we should find a pitcher that also tortures the Giants. But yes, we should do that. That sounds fun. So, Charles brought up an interesting point. So, in the pack ripping experiment, let me pull up last night's results. So, the way I'm thinking about the pack ripping experiment is every session I'm going to open 167 packs. Oh, all right, and we're back. Yeah, boom. Sorry, I do the pre roll because I think someone had suggested to me if I do a pre roll that I get more time until the next ad break, and then I'll have time to. Um, I'm not going to ban him for asking about ads, Ezra. That then I can have more control over when I run the ads. So yeah, sorry about that. So anyway, um, what I'm doing with these pack ripping experiments is, I mean, anything one individual does in the game is going to be small sample size compared to all the packs that are ripped in the game. But I don't think many people are keeping very good records of the packs they rip and how over or under expected value they're doing. And so what I thought I'd do is I'll start keeping track and I'll do it on stream. So we'll have our receipts and we'll just see. And if there's any like major anomalies, we can let the developers know. Like, so for example, I think it's more than an outlier that D Block, aka Don't Cut the D Block Dragon, if you're not following him, I highly recommend you do. Um, Especially if you want to play iron or bronze tournaments. He's super knowledgeable and shares his knowledge freely. But anyway, D Block can open 17 consecutive live perfect cards. And the odds of that are so low to me, that's more than a quirk. It might potentially point to some issue. Now, I think he should report that to the developers, not to say, hey, there's something wrong, but to say, hey, this is really weird. This is highly unlikely. Could you look into it and see if it's happening more broadly? Because I think that is a fair thing to ask of the developers. And then if they find that there are other people opening more than a dozen packs, a dozen perfect cards that are live, Nolan, boom, this is not a made up example. This really did happen. Um, of the 17 perfect cards he got, of the perfect cards he got, 17 in a row were live. And only 55% are supposed to be live. So it's like a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a percent. The likelihood of that happening to any one user. Now, again, it's not impossible, right? All of this is probabilistic. So it's not impossible, but I think it's so unlikely It's exactly like flipping a coin 17 in a row heads. Exactly. Um, well, almost exactly 55%, but close enough, right? I think it's a fair thing for him to say to the developers, hey, can you look into this? Are there other, you have all the data, right? Is the live versus historic percentage of perfect cards hitting that 45 to 55% that we've been promised? And so I don't think I'm going to find anything that groundbreaking, but I also think um, we don't have enough data so that when we want to raise an alarm, that we can say any more than, oh, it feels like it's not right, or I feel like I'm not getting any pack luck, right? If we can come with data and say, look, I did 1,000 sessions, or I did 100 sessions of 1,000 cards, right? 167 packs is 1,002 cards. And if you're telling me 1 in 1,000 should be a perfect card, right? Of those, the expected value for those 100 sessions should be 100 perfect cards. But I only got, I don't know, 20, or I got 250, right? At some point, the deviation from the expected value should be considered significant enough to warrant additional investigation. And again, we can't do that investigation. We don't have the data, but they have the data. And I would hope that they would be interested enough to say, let's make sure what we're promising our players is actually coming true. So that's one of the things we'll do today. The other thing I wanted to do today was a continuation of that player development test. This was the first version of this. I misunderstood what Dr. Dynastic was doing, and thanks to some help from Barry Basher, learned what I was doing wrong. But anyway, iteration one was I created 26 legend level major league players, 22 to 25 years old in age, replaced the Mets roster with them, and we won 146 games in 2023. Mainly because I was watching Boom said if there's no issue causing that, it is the most improbable thing you've ever heard. 0.003856% chance. Yes, it is highly improbable. But again, it's not zero. So that's why I think I think the request would be not that, hey, I think something wrong. I think it's that, hey, this is so improbable. Could you please look into whether there's something wrong? I think that's a valid request. Um, sorry. Anyway, going back to the player creation test. Um, so Barry Basher helped me understand what was wrong about my interpretation. I thought Doc was just creating legend level players, but it turns out he's creating independent league legend level players going to the Red Rock League that were 50% developed. Now, the 50% developed part I wasn't worried about because when people were evaluating the choices they had, the potentials were very low or lower than I would have expected for a legend level. And it turns out after we did some experimenting, the destination league you select has an impact on how legendary your legend player is. So a legend level player headed to the major leagues is going to overall have generally have a higher potential than a legend level player going to A ball. And so to try to recreate what the players that Dr. Dynastic is creating for his Red Rock League, we tried to recreate all the settings he's using in his player creation. And so when we did that, again, these players are 50% developed. They still won over 100 games in 2023 in the major leagues. So again, something seems a little off. If they're 50% developed, they shouldn't be that good, even if they're 50% developed legends, because they're A ball level legends. We assumed Red Rock League, Independent League would be about A or double A ball. So then I thought, okay, well, let's see. If they're 50% developed, let's see how they develop over the next 4 seasons. So you would think they would win more games in season 2. but they didn't. Now, some players did improve, but overall, the win total was about the same. So now I think we're at an inflection point where we should see either a big boost in performance, or maybe there's something like inherently nerfed about these players because they were created to be A-ball legends and not MLB legends. And so maybe they'll never get to that 140 plus win level. So anyway, those are the two things on tap for today. So let me put that pack ripping chart back up. This is what happened yesterday. So yesterday's experiment in two ways. The first was I was just kind of curious to see like if we would see anything statistically interesting in the results. And then the other thing was to see if anyone cares about this stuff. Like like a lot of things I do on the stream, I think it's interesting. I was a little worried that no one else would think it's interesting, but the amount of chat it generated showed me people are definitely interested in this issue. So we're gonna do another 167 pack rips. So I've created another table for session 2, and let me open an account that has a lot of packs to open. Okay, hold on. I had one that had over 700 packs. Let me find out which one that is. No, it's not that one. Oh, the other interesting data point we had was Badger W4 last night told us he's opened 1,400 packs and gotten
Why do you
3
keep
perfect
following me
cards.
around? Look.
So 1,400 packs is over 8,400 cards, which should be expected value about 8.5 perfect cards, and he's gotten 3. And again, 8,400 cards in the big picture of all of Perfect Team is probably small sample size. But, if we can find that that's happening to enough people, maybe it's worth them letting someone know that. Hold on, I'm searching through my accounts to see which one had all the packs. That one's got 580, 595. That one's got 511. One of these has almost 800 packs. No, it's not that one. All right, this is my last shot. No? Did I miss one of my accounts? Did one of my accounts suddenly lose a bunch of packs? What is going on? How come I can't find my account that has 700 packs? Um, okay, let's just go with whichever one I open next. Okay, this account has sorry, I typed the password in wrong. Okay, this account has 511 packs. Let me put the game up. Okay. Oh, this is my account that won Rookie League World Series today. Awesome. So I didn't do anything special. I had just been I've been neglecting my league teams. This one had been uh getting knocked around in stone for a while and then got demoted, and then without me really doing anything, it dominated the league it got demoted into in rookie ball or rookie level, and then won the World Series. So um the only thing I can take credit for is when I realized I was in the playoffs today, I made a few changes because of the playoffs. This is also one of my theme teams. So if you're not familiar with theme teams, um, they're a lot of fun. You choose a theme to set like constraints on your roster, so you can only roster cards that fit your theme. So, for example, Suiji has he's one of the affiliate streamers. He has a team where every player is named Bob. Um, I have a theme team where every player has to have been mispronounced by an affiliate streamer. This one, Georgia Tech on my mind. The players either have to be. Oh, Tuckmado started his first theme team yesterday. Awesome, congratulations. Let us know in the chat what your theme is. So this theme is players who either born, died, or are buried in Georgia, or played baseball in Georgia, either at school or professionally. Or oh, Tuckmado was alliteration names. That's awesome. That's a fun theme. Or because of the Ray Charles song, have either the name Ray, Charles, or George for Georgia. Um, and I think oh, and if they went to Georgia Tech, they have to be rostered. So any player who went to Georgia Tech who has a card that I own has to be on the roster. That sometimes eats up some important roster spaces, but and then anyone who went to University of Georgia is not allowed on the team. So that's the theme for this team. Okay, so we have 411 standard packs. And we want to open 167. So I think we want to open until we get to 244. Is that right? Let me check my phone. Our teachers always said you're not always going to have a calculator in your pocket. Guess what? I do have a calculator in my pocket all the time. 244 is correct. All right, we're going to open until we get to 244. And I'm just going to populate this table as we go. And rather than toggling back and forth, um, I'll just update it off screen. And every once in a while we'll switch to it just to kind of see what the results look like. Okay, so let's start ripping. 244. Okay. We went some long stretches last night without having to enter anything into the spreadsheet. I mean, it's coincidence, but I did think it was funny. Anytime I taunted OOTP about how we weren't getting how low below expected value we were getting, like invariably the next rip would have like a gold card in it. Oh, I got excited for a second. I thought that was the silver DeGrom, but it's a silver Grinky. And I realized after we did the pack rips last night, I forgot to check the missions to see. I mean, if you open 1,000 cards, chances are you probably finish some missions, especially with all the new missions. But I didn't check, so tonight I'll try to remember to check. Okay, here we go. We got a gold card. Yeah, Nolan says only Dish gets the luck we want. So Nolan, one of the things I was thinking about was opening up one of these forums um, whenever Dish is streaming and track what Dish gets. So look, I'm not doing anything because any of this because I think I think there's any big conspiracy going on. But I do wonder though if if maybe something in the model is not correct, or more likely, just the way we experience pack ripping, we overestimate how bad our pack luck is. Although I can't, I should look up the VODs too. I should look at DishNet's VODs because I don't think those are expected value. I think he's above expected value. Okay, so as expected, we got a live gold. If there is one thing that I can say we were off of expected value is we had way more live cards than we should have had. We were way above the 55% live cards. All right, for some reason I'm having a hard time typing in this spreadsheet. Or it's not a spreadsheet, it's a table. What is going on here? Oh, that's weird. The font turned black in my table for some reason. Hold on, let me fix this. Okay, all right. It was letting me type in it. I was just not seeing it. Okay, so we got one live card. One live gold card. Now we could have tracked silver too because they give a ratio for two gold cards in a row. Another live card. The problem with tracking silver is you have to be a lot more eagle-eyed because with the gold, it shows you a gold by showing you the back of the card, but with silvers, they're just mixed in with all the other cards. So I decided to just track gold and higher. The other thing I was thinking about was all these theme teams. Oh, you can change the settings to do that. Okay. Well, I also don't want to tally all the silvers, so I'm still not going to do it. Okay, thanks, guys. I didn't realize that. I appreciate knowing that, but I'm not going to track it because it's too many cards. Oh, so the thing I was thinking was there's so many cool theme teams, but not all of them have all the cards they would want to have to fill out their team, right? Like part of the fun of having a theme team is there's always a subset of cards you're waiting for because they fit your theme and they're probably going to be pretty good, but they're not out yet. And so, like for Tonkmato's alliteration names team, we don't have a Mickey Mantle card right now, right? So I'm assuming that's a card he's waiting for. But what I was thinking was, I have a bunch of theme team ideas, and even my own theme teams. Not all the cards I would want are out. I could just make a theme team in the base game with all the players I would eventually want to have anyway, right? Like my Georgia Tech Mine team should have a Hank Aaron on it, but we don't have a meta Hank Aaron right now, so I'm kind of waiting for that. Okay, here's a diamond and a baseball reference, Mike Hegan. Our diamond is a historic diamond, so I'll make note of that. Now I'm also just tallying the numbers of cards. I'm not making any assessment into the value or tracking the L10, right? Even though this Toby Hara card is not very playable, I'm just tracking it as one historic diamond card. So anyway, like, if we want to, I could say, hey, Tunkmado, what would be your ideal roster of alliteration names? Not based on who's in the game, but just like whoever played Major League Baseball. Then like we can put that roster into the base game and we can just play a season with that roster. Yeah, exactly, Tunkmado. Part of the fun is that, you have cards that aren't out yet that would be a fit for your team because that's what kind of keeps the theme team uh, interesting over time. Okay, there's another historic. It's a historic gold this time. But I did think it would be fun to be able to like put a team together completely, ready to go in the base game. So I think I'm going to make that maybe a recurring series. Like we take a theme team from the list and we turn it into a real live base game team. We just started yesterday and then pulled the gold Bob Boone and he's your new star catcher. It's exciting. Yeah, exactly. It's like I'm gonna be super psyched when we get a really good Hank Aaron card because he's gonna go right on this Georgia Tech team. Not because he went to Georgia Tech, but because he played in Atlanta. All right, here's a diamond card. Another live card. Now because we actually pulled some historicals today early, it's not quite the runaway live lean that we had yesterday, but we're still over the 55%. I mean, it's a small sample size still, but here's a gold card, another live. So it's early, but we're 4-2 live to historical. So we're 67% live. Oh, one of the things that Charles pointed out yesterday, Nolan says as long as you don't start doing Steiner math, we are good. I don't even know what is Steiner math, Nolan. I don't know what that is. I am pretty good with math until we get to matrices and Laplace transforms. I technically should know what those are because I passed those classes in undergrad, but I don't know how I passed because I still have no idea how they work. Oh, it's a wrestling thing. It's just an absolute unhinged promo that Scott Steiner did, where he's just gonna do math. That's amazing. Okay. I'll hold on. I'm writing this down because I want to see this. Scott Steiner. If I look up Scott Steiner math, will it show up? I'm gonna look that up for sure. Oh, you'll send it to me on Discord. Thank you. Hey, I'm imagining Scott Steiner trying to do math is a lot like Insane Clown Posse trying to understand magnets. Takmito says, I'm going to play tournaments with this team so get use out of the other players that are not the best balls team. Oh, that's a fun idea. I don't think most people do that, so that'll be an interesting twist, Takmito. All right, here's our diamond card. It's another live. At least it's not a dupe. All right, we are now 5-2 live to diamond, live to historic. That's the other ratio, especially after hearing about D Block's perfect card issue. I wonder if the long run live to historic ratio is actually holding at 55%. Here's another live. Another live gold. Now, I will say, in defense of OOTP, I think just like with bad reviews on Yelp, I think people are a lot more likely to complain about the negatives than to bring attention to the positives. So I'm sure no one's writing to OOTP saying, "Hey, I opened, you know, 1,000 packs, which is 6,000 cards. I should have had an expected value of 6 perfect cards, but instead I got 9." Right? No one's bothering to write to complain about that or report that. Um, just like I think people are way more likely to post a bad review on Yelp than they are to post a positive review. And so, I think there's like a selection bias in terms of like what do we actually hear about? All right, here's another diamond. Another live card. So our live ratio is definitely like out of whack so far. But so far we're above expected value on diamonds. We're below on everything else, and we're definitely way below in terms of live versus historic. Here's another gold. See, when I complain about something, it tries to shut me up. Okay, so there's another gold. Live. Oh, and we're ripping a 244. I'm gonna add that to the table here. Okay, another gold. Okay, historic gold. That helps do a little course correcting. And again, I don't think we have anything even meaningful until we do like 10 or 20 sessions of these. But we have to start somewhere. So we're just going to rip away for a while. Fortunately, I have a ton of cards, a ton of packs to rip. So we have no shortage of material for this project. Yes, that's another historic gold. Okay, so we're now here. Let me put this up real quick. We're now 8-4 live to historical. So we're at 67% again. And the expected percentage is 55%. Oh, another gold. Historical this time. So we're definitely ahead of yesterday's pace for getting the higher value cards. We were under expected value the whole time yesterday. We may actually be over expected value for golds right now. That bingo looks like it would play in gold. Yeah, you know what? I think a lot of the recent cards have been really good cards. I know when they pop up in drafts, I find myself grabbing a lot of these newer cards. But I mean, that's part of the point, right? Is you're building. There should be power creep, so the new cards should play more. So here's the combi. The combis are a little problematic in terms of expected value because my understanding is there's a different ratio for each level of combi. And so iron combis are 400 to 1, I think. Um, so this is a bronze. If not for that control, this would probably be playable, but that's pretty awful control. But let me add the combi. You know what? I'm going to add the combis below because I think I should be tracking the level of the combi. So let me insert a text box. Okay, I'll have to figure out how to work that into the table, but I'm just gonna record that we got a bronze copy. Here, I just put it in the bottom on the text box. I'll figure out how to work it into the data set. Let's see what the let's see if there's any action on this card. Yep, just what I thought. There's 5 sell orders for the minimum and no buyers. So this is destined to be combinator food. Nolan used your combis for 2 that you run in silver. Yep. Seems like there's no other use for them because you can't quick sell them. Has there been any posts on the new tournaments that are coming? Because I actually proposed a set of tournaments to Nico, and I never heard back. I was just wondering if they're in the mix. Yeah, Tugmado, I don't know that we've ever heard a reason for why they don't let us quick sell combis. Hey, there's that Frank Duncan card. That's a good catcher in silver. So Crash SF Giants. I think you're still referring to this the Steiner math. They've referenced it a few times in AEW. It's timeless Carney canon. Welcome to the chat, by the way, Crash SF Giants. There's that Andrew Jones card. That's an auto pick for me in 5L and 6L. 2 baseball reference cards. That Raritan definitely plays. Oh, well, here's a perfect card. So let's see. After we open it, we'll see how far into this session we are, because we went 1,002 cards last night without getting a perfect card. Yeah, moment of truth. Is it going to be alive? It is. Oh, it's about the worst you can get. He's probably going to go down too, right? I should probably quick sell him before I forget. It would be great if in the course of this we capture a D block level live perfect streak, because to have the receipts for it would be awesome. You just do it now? I probably should do it before I forget. Done. I would hate to be left holding the bag on that one. I think there's probably some point too, right? If I'm like, I want to do at least 10 or 20 of these to start getting to some sort of like level of significance. But if after five or six we're at expected value or above, then like, do I pull the plug on it, or do I have faith that there's some like long run value in doing this? Here's a gold, another live gold. Okay, again, we're at 10 to 5 live to historical. So we're pretty consistently 67% live. Yeah, you're right, Nolan. I should keep going, even if like the first five or six sessions show us to be at or above expected value. Like I'll keep. You're right. I'll keep going. I'll keep going. These are actually like nice sessions to do on Saturday and Sunday because things are a little bit slower. Um, and like it's after the Thursday card drops, and so it gets me like actually opening packs. I mean, before last night, I had over 3,500 packs across my six accounts. Another live. Yeah, Barry Basher, we're doing another, exactly, another 167 packs for science. That's a great way to put it. I hope you don't mind, Barry Basher. Since you put it in the chat last night, I figured it's okay. Oh no, it wasn't you, it was Badger. It was Badger W4, who Badger W4 opened the 1,400 packs and got three perfects. So that's 8,400 cards he opened, and he got three perfects. There's another gold. Ah, it's a historic. Barry Basher can't say 100 packs at a time. Yeah, I also my plan is always to open them on Thursdays, and I either am like too busy or I think, oh, I should wait to do it on stream, and then I run out of time, and then by the time like I think about it again, it's already too close to the next Thursday. That's the thing that happens the most is like before I know it, it's too close to Thursday again. I mean, these Thursdays come around before you even know it. There's another gold. Other live gold. You do 5L and bagel draft? Yeah, I usually do those right after I stream, so I'm with you. And you know what? I've fallen asleep during bagels so many times that I've ended up having like partial or no roster many times this past month. All right, here's a historic gold. This called Crawford card. Good luck on those drafts, Barry Basher. I don't know how you feel about it, but I think the drafts are they're not 100% luck based because you still have to make smart decisions, but you can make smart decisions, but if you have crap to pick from, it's kind of hard to do well. And to be clear, here's a historic gold. I'm not making excuses for my own poor play in 5L and 6L. Like people are able to win consistently at it, and they win enough that they must be doing well even when they have a bad draft or when they have bad choices in the draft. I just know, like at my level of playing those tournaments, I need some help in getting some lucky cards. You lost in round one of the 6L you got in. There's another gold. I think we're over expected value for gold. This is actually even a decent gold. Historic David Festa. If he has any connections to Georgia, he can play on my team. All right, let's see how close we are to getting done here. We're at 301, so we have 57 more to go. Another gold. Actually, we're actually hot in terms of golds. We're almost at expected value for golds, and we still have 50 more packs to go. So Nolan says no connection to Georgia for Fester. Wah wah. So is that not I don't know if I don't know, is this too controversial? Is that what Paw Sox was doing? Like I'm sure at a much higher scale, but like, oh, I have this Festa, he can't play on my theme team. So I'm gonna somehow like funnel him over to one of my other accounts where he can play. Is that what the accusation is? Here's another gold. A historic gold. Tomato says yes. Okay. And how much of the problem that people are having with it is that in selling to his main account for like 10% of the market value. Oh, I see. Okay. But selling it for below market value, that's just another way of like moving it over there, right? Like it's just oh, it was around the churn reward and using PTCS. Got it. Got it. Yeah, like I said, I was hopefully clearly acknowledging that like me moving a Festa is nowhere near my understanding of like what the accusation is. Um, is it also correct to say that a lot of the uproar is because there's been an absence of information about how it was handled? Because my understanding is like he was banned or suspended or something, but then suddenly reappeared and still had all his cards. Yeah, so Tomato, I don't know if that's what's causing the uproar. I'm just assuming from what I've been hearing that people are upset because of the way it was handled, but it seems like there was no clear explanation of how it was handled. He got a 1 week ban, but was able to come back with all the cards. And so, to what extent do you think would people have been assuaged or not assuaged if someone had come out and said, "Look, this is what happened. This is how we're handling it, and this is why." I mean, how much of it is like the lack of information is what's got people upset? Talkman was asking about it in the OTP stream chat today. They are mad. Yeah, I heard Dish had to go to emote only chat during I guess it was last week's uh Perfect League playoffs. I mean, I definitely can see people flipping out if the person who's at the center of this is in the middle of winning a championship. So here's a live card, live gold. And I appreciate y'all catching me up on it. I missed all that, so I uh I just kind of heard about it afterwards. The person is now back to back. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, because I just watched them win tonight. But do you think it would have mattered if someone from OOTP had said like, "This is what happened. This is what we're doing it, and this is why"? Or do you think no amount of explanation would have like um satisfied the people who are upset? Well, when I say people are upset, I'm upset too. I think it sounds like BS, but I don't know enough about it to get really worked up. Oh, I think they're back to back Perfect League champions. I think they won Perfect League again tonight. All right, we're at 280. We've got 36 more packs to go. By the way, is anyone on here because they need a full allotment of affiliate drops tonight? I just want to make sure I don't leave anyone hanging. Noel says, I think people are saying that unless they delete the card from their team at a minimum. Oh, I can see that being a sticking point. Yeah, the card that was funneled. I mean, I imagine it's got to be pretty obvious when it happens because like there's only two of those cards in existence, right? If it was a top prize card. Right, I want to make sure I don't go over. So let me see where we are again. We're at 266, 22 more to go. Uh-oh, what did I just open? Okay, good. It seemed like it's a regular pack. I'm actually getting excited when I see three bronzes. That's how bad it's been for the last 20 or so. Talk Vader says they'll never catch me funneling my bronze cards. Oh yeah, very basher. It's such a bummer when you go like a couple rounds in the 5L or 6L with like no decent cards, and then suddenly you get a screen with like 4 or 5 good cards. It's like, where were these 2 rounds ago? That exact thing happened to me a few days ago. It was like, and these aren't the exact cards. It was like Andrew Jones, Adam Dunn, Wally Joyner, like uh Paul Hartzell, CJ Wilson. It was like 5 or 6 cards that I really would have wanted all in one screen after like a drought of a couple rounds too. You just posted the round on my Discord. I would be very happy if my Discord becomes a place where we put stuff like that just to share with each other. Here, when I finish this pack rip, I'll can I share the screen, Fairy Basher? Are you okay with me sharing that? We're at 255. We've got 11 more to go. So we were above expected value, but this last stretch of packs has been pretty bleak. You don't care? Okay. So the reason, oh, here's a gold. Another live gold and a dupe. So the reason I can't go by this number up here is because the 244, well, I mean, I guess I could have gone by it, but for some reason, this number doesn't include your choice packs. I don't know if you've noticed that before. I guess I could have still done the math to figure out what number this needs to be, but I'm just going until our standard packs reaches 244. Oh, look at this. Two perfects today. Now, what are the odds of getting two Ariases in one pack? Oh, maybe this will be the start of a D block streak. I'm using reverse psychology by telling OOTP maybe this will be the start of a D block streak. I'm trying to convince it to give me a historic perfect card. And it did not work. It gave me Max Fried. Maybe aside from Spencer Strider, the next worst live card to get. Oh, the same Arias. It did seem like perfect Edwin Diaz got pulled a lot last year. Oh, that's true. Hey, Elcat, thank you for pointing that out. You're right. Free can play on my Georgia team. That's a great point. I'm going to actually remind myself here on a piece of paper. Yeah, Elcat, thank you. I'm so zoned like focused on this pack ripping experiment that I forgot that he can actually play. All right, we're at 248, so four more to go. Four more to go. All right, last one. All right, so here's where we are. Across the two sessions now, we are at expected value for perfect. They're both live. We don't have enough samples actually to for the 55-45, but I mean, with two, you would expect your expected value is 0.55 live and 0.45 historical. So you can't really say anything about there being two live yet, I guess. But we are 16 live and 11 historic. So that's 16 out of 27. So we're at 59%. That's not too bad. Of course, compared to yesterday, let me show you yesterday's numbers. You have to discount these two combis because they're, of course, they're going to be live by historic by definition. We're 14 versus 8. So that's 64%. Now across the two, now I'm going to put all these in Excel so it'll be easier to do the calculations as we get more data in. But we're at 30 to 19. So we're still very close to 67%. We're at 62%. 61%. So we are getting closer to the 55% though. But again, we're only at two rounds of this. Okay. I don't know, like that's two of these we've done now. Are people still finding this interesting, or is this just something? I don't know, I don't even know if this is like interesting content to people. I find it interesting. I just do weird stuff on the base game that I find interesting, so I just thought this is another weird thing to do that's interesting to me. Um, anyway, let's go to uh, let's go to the base game. I want to do a continuation of that. Tomato likes watching card rips. People do seem to like that. Is it like if they rip something good, you get excited to see something good getting ripped, and if their pack luck sucks, you feel better about your own pack luck? So like no matter what happens, it's something good. Let's see. This account is out of the 6L already. When I say already, is it over? It might be over. Let's see what's going on with this bronze only. Now you always like to see good pulls. That's good. I think that says something about you as a person, something positive, Tomato. I think it says something bad about me that while I do like watching good pulls, I would also feel better about myself watching like EV have terrible pack luck the other day. I was like, ooh, at least my pack luck isn't this bad. So I think we've discovered that Tunkmater was a better person than I am. I just want to peek in on this tournament, see where we are, and then go back to that sim. Oh, it just started. Okay. All right, this one just started. Okay. All right, so let's continue this test here. This will be season 3. So by this season, I'm expecting to see a lot more improvement from this team. They started out as 50% developed players. We accelerated the development ratio to 1.25. That's the speed at which they go from their current status to their peak. Uh, Also, as a side note, I left their aging at 1.00, which means their decline from the peak will be kind of just standard OOTP baseline decline. But yeah, I think we had 104 wins last season, and as these players develop, I would expect that number to go up. Let's double check that that was our. I took a screenshot, but since you're here anyway, I can just look at the standings. 105. So I believe our two totals. Well, actually, we can just go to the history. Um, Team history. Or it might be under logs. Okay, here we go. We won 102 in 91, 105 in 92. That's not quite the increase I would have expected um, based on the accelerated development and that we were starting at 50%. So, two things. At 50% developed, I'm surprised we won as many as 102 games. That said, given our accelerated development, I thought we would have improved by more than 3 games the next season. But let's see what happens in the next sim. We're going to sim to. Um, we're just going to skip all the way ahead to regular season begins. By the way, you all watching the Olympics? Every 4 years, I get obsessed with the Olympics. Like every sport I watch, I get obsessed with archery, shooting, uh, race walking. Like I watch all of it. Water polo. I saw water polo today. I saw some table tennis today. So one of the U.S. table tennis players, he had just returned from a ban, not because he got caught using performance enhancing drugs, but he had missed 3 drug tests in a row. And I guess if you don't take your drug tests, they treat that like a positive test. So which makes sense. Like you can't just avoid the test. But I mean, I'm sure it could help your performance in table tennis. I just thought it was interesting that table tennis had a PED scandal. I guess it's not a sport I would have assumed people are juicing on, but I guess it helps you in everything. Although I don't know, like it just seems like being super jacked would not necessarily help you at table tennis, but I guess it helps with recovery and so maybe you can train more and then recover faster. I don't know, but I guess it happens. Nolan wants chess in the Olympics. Yeah, well, they already had their scandal. Wasn't there that guy who they accused of having like an electronic signaler in his butt? To me, that's worse than a PED. Okay. Oh, it couldn't sim all the way because we have to do the draft. So we already have our players. So I'm just gonna draft whoever the the scout tells me to, and then we're not gonna add them to our roster. We're just gonna send them to the minors. So we'll start the draft. It is fun seeing the draft log though, because all these players that we'll remember are going to be getting drafted around us. It is odd to me though that it won't let me just bypass this and just like pick whoever the chief scout says to draft. So we'll draft till our pick. Do you guys want to see the top? top potential draft picks. Let's see the top potential draft picks. Allegedly, the guy had booty beads that would vibrate to indicate what strategy the guy is playing. Okay, Derek Lee, Billy Wagner, Kevin Millwood, Johnny Damon, Jermaine Dye, Jason Isringhausen, Guillermo Moda, Bill Mueller, Phil Nevin, Scott Rowland, Glendon Rush, Jeffrey Hammers. There's some good players in here. Yeah, anyway, we're not going to get any of those players. We have our team. So auto draft until New York. Well, Barry Bosher, they may not have been in the same draft class. Sometimes, like, OOTP does weird things. Also, one of them could have been their initial draft year when they're coming out of high school. And then if they didn't sign, they would go back into the draft a few years later. So it might have been like one of them might have been in their high school draft year, and the other one might have been in their redraft year. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the same like initial draft class. Um, yeah, Nolan, we're now in 19. We're about to start 1993. Our sim started in 91. Okay, so who does our scouting director want us to pick? Alan Bennis. Okay, we'll take him. Is Alan related to Andy Bennis? And we'll just auto draft to our next pick. Do y'all want to see the draft log? Derek Lee, Millwood, Wagner, Die. Oh, wait, Johnny Damon went to UGA? All right, well, he's banned from my theme team then. That's good to know, so I don't pick him by mistake. Die was taken the 43rd round in 92 and in the 17th round in 93. Man, that's nuts that he was redrafted and they still kind of missed him. There's Torrey Hunter getting drafted at pick 20 at the age of 17. Damon was taken out of high school in 92. Yeah, well, that happened here too, so that's true. Do not trust schools in the base game. Okay, I won't. I always do baseball reference, so I will double check that. Thank you for the warning slash reminder. All right, let's go finish up this draft. We don't care who we get. I'm curious to see like who the who our scout recommends in the first couple rounds. Ronald Helsel. All right, we'll go ahead and draft him based on the recommendation, and then let's just auto draft complete draft. All right, so the draft is done. 50 all 51 rounds. Now let's see if it'll let us sim. It'll probably make us sign our draft picks, but Barabasher forgot about the trade with the Braves and Royals back in 97 that sent Jamie Walker and Jermaine Dye to the Royals for Keith Lockhart and Michael Tucker. Huh. It is interesting when you go back and see old trades, especially when people fill in for you, like who the well, I guess not so much in baseball because you can't trade picks in baseball. But like with NBA, especially because so many picks get traded, Like it's interesting to see like what the net trades end up being because it ends up being like a ton of players because the trades get just like bounced around like crazy. Oh, it's gonna make us do the Rule 5 draft too. We should have I don't think we have anyone in the pool. Or we shouldn't anyway. Because everyone everyone on our roster is on our 40 man. So there should be no one from our team in here. Yeah, okay, yeah. By definition we didn't have anyone in the minors. Okay, I said Damon was drafted out of high school in Florida. He did not attend college. All right. Well, hopefully I would have found that out when I looked him up in baseball reference, but I appreciate you saving me the time now. All right, let's see if we can sim to the next season now. I think it'll make us stop to do our free agent signings, but I didn't tell it to sim the 5L draft. Just auto complete that draft for us, please. Wow, Mike Devereaux, that's one name I recognize. Bobby Witt, Turk Wendell, Steve Sachs, Vince Coleman, Bob Tewksbury. Yeah, exactly, Barry Basher. Those trades, once they're filled in with all the players, I find that stuff fascinating. I'd like to thank Bobby Witt for his son. I used to really like Bobby Witt because he always seemed so close to being a good pitcher, but he never did figure out his control. So maybe it's not going to make us sign our draft picks. It looks like it might be setting up the next season for us. He'd like to thank Pat Mahomes for his son as well. Wish his PT card was better. Yeah, as a Mets fan, I wish his PT card was better too. There's only so much massaging though Paul Sporer can do to make these cards better based on their stats, I guess. Yeah, I think it took us past draft pick signing, so that's good. Oh no, Bear Basher, I didn't think you were blaming Sporer at all either. I just was saying I wish he had a better card, but there's not much you can do based on what his stats were. My point was his stats weren't very good, so we're never gonna have a good version of Pat Mahomes, I don't think. Yeah, I didn't think you were blaming him, and I'm not blaming Spore either. I think he does a great job with what he has to do. And I do appreciate when he tries to give us playable players. Tomato blames for his mustache. All right, so I think these are our spring training stats. It's only spring training, but we are 14-2 in spring training so far. The other thing we should do too is before we start the season, let's just look at the ratings of our players. Just calculating some spring training stats. Mahomes' extreme fly ball with 60s home run allowed and 30s control. And I bet he had to kind of fudge those upward too to make him even like close to playable. Why are we back on a draft screen here? Okay, we're at opening day. Let's go to the standing screen. And let's fire it up. Oh, chat, any guesses on the number of wins? So we have another year of development of these players. They start out 50% developed. Um, their first year, they won 102 games. Last year, they won 105. So if you're like a trend person, maybe you say 108. If you think about our team of just like full on, fully developed legends, won 146. That's a different squad than this. We intentionally nerfed them by making them A ball legends, but they're still pretty good. Tonkmato with 101, Barry Basher going 133. I think I'm gonna go 110. I was a little surprised to see the small level improvement from 91 to 92, so I'm gonna think that that's gonna continue. So I'm gonna say 110. All right. Nolan, you can jump in with your guess whenever if you get around to it. We'll just go ahead and start the sim. Oh, wait, yeah, I was gonna look at their star ratings to see if there's any noticeable changing in the star ratings. Um, this still doesn't look that different from when we started. Yeah, like Raul Rodriguez is still 3 stars out of 5, so he has the legend potential, but he's still close to that 50%. Matthew Furr's maxed out now, but he's a 2.5 star guy, so that's not really huge news. Serafino Amici, we saw him improve a lot last season, so that makes sense that he's now 5 out of 5 stars. I think if anyone's improved, maybe it's just Carlos Romero and um Edgar Hernandez. Now that he's 5 stars, I wonder if the oh, let's do this. Let's have the we'll have the bench coach redo the lineups and stuff in case they may make different decisions based on the player development. So I'm going to try this 2 ways. First, I'm just asking for a new pitching staff, and then I'm going to clear the staff and ask him for a new pitching staff and see if that makes a difference. Okay, the rotation did change quite a bit. Now it's Pasinski. He's moved Burton into the rotation. Burton used to be our closer. So that's wild. He's taken our closer who saved 40, I think, well, we can look at him. I think he was 49 in 48 games. So you can look at, if you don't play a lot of base game, you can look at his pitching stats or you can look at his real life pitching stats. Wait, why don't I see his real life pitching stats? Oh, because he's a made up player. Duh. Oh, I'm so dumb. Okay, so you can look at his pitching stats. For anyone who's real, you can also look at their real life pitching stats. So he went from 49 saves to 48 saves, 0.94 whip, 0.99 whip, and now our bench coach is making him a starter. We'll see how that goes. Oh, now I want to see now if there's a difference though. If I clear the pitching staff, yeah, exclamation point professional, exactly. All right, we'll clear the pitching staff and let's do it again and see if he gets to any different decisions. Nope, exact same thing. He's still pitching Burton second. Josh Smith is fifth. Bullpen's the same. All right, let's see what he does with the lineups. I think the big thing to look at is does Edgar Hernandez now start at catcher now that he's superseded Mario Lagunas in stars? Oh, wait, this one might be, I might have to, let me clear it. No, that's weird. I mean, here's a perfect case of AI gonna AI. We've got a 5 star overall, 5 star potential catcher. Our scouting is turned off, so these ratings are 100% accurate, and we're still have him on the bench behind our 3.5 star catcher, which baffles me. But I had kind of said like, it's going to be hands off. We're going to let the AI do its thing. So that's a little surprising to me. All right, we'll see what happens though. Skiing starting in Houston tomorrow. That would be, I think any skiing start to me is an interesting watch, Barry Basher. Oh, you're right. Yeah, Barry Basher. The AI does love defense. Let's take a look at that. Is Lagunas a much better defender? Just looking overall, his defensive numbers is 70. Edgar's a 55. Barry Basher, you get a gold star. You're absolutely right. And the AI does love defense. So there you go. There you go. All right, I like to do this from the standing screen. So let's go back to that. All right, so Tom Mando's in for 101. Barry Basher's in for 133. I'm in for 110. And we'll see if Nolan wants to play too and chime in. All right, we'll do the first month here. 6-1 start, 7-1, 8-1, 9-1, 9-3, 2 game losing streak. All right, 13-4. Surprisingly, though, we are still behind the California Angels in win percentage. They are 13-2. I'm tempted to look, but it's still early in the season, so I'm not going to look yet to see what their roster. If they're still riding high in the AOS, I'll take a peek at their. This might be like the Jim Edmonds era Angels, where they had like a pretty stacked outfield, right? They had like Tim Salmon and Jim Edmonds, and I think a couple other like stud outfielders. And again, on the offensive side, we only have one league leader, and that's our shortstop, Mark Ellison, our Rookie of the Year MVP winner. All right, 2 months in, yeah, the Angels have been overtaken by the White Sox. Oh, we're not done yet. They're still simming. The Blue Jays are ahead of us. We have a team of legends, and the Blue Jays are ahead of us. Of course, this is their World Series year, right? 1993. So Mark Ellison had a 47 game on base streak from Mark Ellison. And we did have a team winning streak of 11 games. So yeah, we are second only to the Blue Jays in record, and this is a Blue Jays World Series season. So all right, let's go to the All Star game. I guess it's a month and a half of sim from here. So it's been a while. Is there a way to see how many more minutes until an ad runs? Let me see. I'm wondering if I should push some ads, go get some water. Uh oh, Talk Beta, thank you for the follow. I didn't realize you had followed. Uh Ameriquan 10, thank you for the follow also. Apologize for being a little late on that. I'm acknowledging those. Where do I see where my ad deals thing is? Oh, pre-roll. Okay, we have some time, but I need to get some water and take a bio break. So I'm going to push a commercial here, an ad break, and uh and that'll postpone the one I can't control. And I'm going to go get some water, take a bio break, and we'll finish the rest of the season. And I'm having to stream from the basement this week, so I'm going to give myself a little extra time to get upstairs to do all this stuff. So apologize for the 3 minutes of commercial and roll here. All right. Appreciate y'all accommodating me there. Got my waters, had my bio break, ready to sim the rest of the season. Did we get a, we didn't get a guess from Nolan yet, so maybe he might be gone. Let's run the rest of the season, see how we do. Yeah, we'll go right to the All-Star team announcements. This might be a fun showdown if we can manage to face the Blue Jays in the World Series. Mm. We're pulling ahead of the Blue Jays now. At 770 win percentage, we're on pace for 125 wins, but now we're up to 800 win percentage. So Barry Basher's guess might be looking good here. Okay, so let's oh, I thought we were already at the what date are we at here? Oh, July 12th. We're almost at the All-Star announcement. All-Star announcements, I think we're July 18th. Okay, we had a 24 game winning streak. Okay, I think that's we saw something similar happen when we cranked up the development for our 15-year-old Major League Legends team. During the course of the season, we cranked up the development speed to like 9,999. We're at 1.25 right now. And so by mid-season, they had fully matured and we went on a similar winning streak. So 24 game winning streak, 7 game RBI streak, 9 game run streak. We're 68 and 19, by far the best record in the majors, a 782 win percentage. So we're tracking for a high 120 wins. So if we keep developing even further, I think Barry Basher might be right on the money here. So need to finish the day. We're 69 and 19. Let's see what our all-star status is. Our NL fan voting results. Mario Lagunas at catcher, third in voting. And this is our guy who's oh wait. It looks wait a second. Look at this. Our Mario Lagunas has gone up from 3.5 stars now to 4.5 stars. So he is almost the overall and potential equal of Edgar Hernandez with the better glove. So yeah, maybe the AI already knew something, but yeah, these players are definitely still developing, at least the ones who haven't already maxed out. So yeah, he has definitely come on big time this season. Jose Ayala, who's now our top vote getter at second base. Jim West was not doing this, I don't think, last season. He's now top voted getter at third. Mark Ellison, of course, our MVP Rookie of the Year at shortstop. Serafino Amiche, he made his big jump last season. He's still second in All-Star voting. And then Carlos Romero is making a big jump this year. He's now second in voting in right field. And for pitchers, Basinski, number 2 vote getter, just behind Pedro. And then, oh yeah, remember we had switched closers, right? And our new closer, I'm assuming he's our closer, is now fifth in All-Star voting. So let's see how our former closer is doing at the All-Star break. And that was Adam Burton. He's 11-2 as a starter. So that experiment is definitely paying dividends. Uh, Look, the AI already made the decision to make him a starter. I'm just going to update his player position to be starter. And then this Mark Garcia, who's in the pen now, I'm just going to update his position to be reliever. It just helps so that it shows the right fatigue level. And since it's already decided to make Arellano our closer, I'm just going to make him set position to closer. It is interesting though, like the fact that Burton was our closer previously did not prevent our AI from moving him into the rotation. So that's good to know. I wasn't sure if that would be the case or not. Okay, so let's oh yeah, I need to copy and paste our NL fan voting results. So I'm going to open a notepad file to paste this stuff into. Okay, so I'm going to paste this in. And then let's look at the All Star rosters. This includes the players who were chosen by the All Star managers. All right, Nick Nash, Greg Piasinski, Josh Smith, Adam Burton, who now makes it as a starter after making it as a reliever. Mario Lagunas, Jose Ayala, Jim West, Mark Ellison, Serafino Miches, and Carlos Romero. We have 10 All Stars. 10 All Stars. All right, let's go to the home run channel to see if we have any players in there. We might have a Mark Ellison sighting, maybe. Carlos Romero. No Mark Ellison, but Carlos Romero is our entry this season into the home run derby. Carlos Romero advances to round two, along with Reggie Sanders, Ellis Burks, and Gary Sheffield. It's a righty heavy group here. Carlos Romero makes it to the final against Ellis Burks. Ellis Burks wins the home run derby. 13-12. Man, what a shootout. Oh, Romero was in barn burners the whole way. 12-11 against Bo Jackson, 16-15 against Reggie Sanders, and then loses 13-12 to Ellis Burks. Everyone decided by one home run. All right. Let's roll to the All-Star game since we have a lot of players in it this time. We'll do a quick play, but we will take a peek at the box score. NL wins 7-4. Let's see how much our legends had to do with it. We jumped to an early lead, 4-2, and then just stayed ahead the whole way here, including a 2-2 even scoring sixth inning. All right, let's see. Our Mark Ellison went 1-for-2 with a run and an RBI. I wonder if that's a home run. No, not a home run. Our Jim West went 0-for-2. Our Jose Ayala went 1-for-2 with a run and an RBI. Our Serafino Amici came in as a pinch hitter, went 0-for-1. Our Mario Lagunas came in to replace Rick Wilkins, a catcher, went 0 for 1. And our Carlos Romero went 1 for 1 with 2 RBIs as a pinch hitter. And in the pitching side, Piasinski, 1 inning, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. And Nick Nash, 1 inning of 1 clean inning. And then our Josh Smith, 2/3, gave up a hit. Barry Basher, 5 minutes for the iron round of bagels. Time to slow down. How were the first 12 rounds? Well, don't type. Do your draft. Don't type. Type after you're done. All right. So let's sim the rest of the season. All right. Let's do another month. I mean, coming out of the All Star break, we're already 20 games ahead of the Cubs. Serafino Amici with a 23-game hitting streak. Oh yeah, that was a short sim because the All Star break was in the middle of the month. So we'll do another month now. This will be the month of August, all the way to roster expansion day. Serafino Amici really coming into his own here, showing up on some of these league leader boards. RBI, OPS. Mark Ellison, I'm sure buoyed by the fact that he's a shortstop, still leading the league in WAR. Went a little pitcher heavy with 4 gold plus pitchers out of 10, but sometimes that's what the cards say to do. Yep. Yeah, I usually tend to stock up on my pitchers in the gold rounds too, especially the starting rotation. All right, we're 95 and 30, 760 win percentage. Our win percentage has come down a bit, but we're still way ahead of the rest of the majors. Closest competition right now is the White Sox at 80 and 46. All right, we'll go right to the end of the regular season. Let's see where when we hit 100 wins. 132. Barry Basher is perfect as a reliever, but when it's Pedro Borbon, I don't have much of a problem with it. And there wasn't much else that was amazing. Yeah, it's tough when your best choices in perfect round are relievers. It does happen that way, though. Barry Basher, I don't know if you played Perfect Team in OOTP 24, but towards the end of the cycle, they have these perfecto drafts, which are all perfect cards. Those are super fun. So you'll have perfect relievers, perfect starters, perfect everything. But in the mix, you have like your Ned Williamsons and stuff. So yeah, you love that. Those are some of my favorites. Hey, I learned how to ban people. I banned that guy who spammed our chat. That was my first banning. Yeah, Bear Bash, I'll be curious to see how far into the cycle we need to be before we can have a perfecto draft. Okay, we're 119-42 with 1 game left to go in the regular season. Our win percentage has come way down actually to 739. I mean, it's still high historically, but we were riding high for a while in the 800s there. So, but Barry Bash, I think you and I are going to kind of split the difference here. I said 110, you said 133. We're going to be almost in the middle there with 119. Actually, I'm kind of curious here. Well, first, let's finish up. There's one more game to play, so let's sim that out. You think we'll get the perfector either this refresh or next? Yeah, I hope so. That's a fun tournament. I would play that every chance I get. I was just doing a quick calculation to see, the whole wisdom of the crowds thing. Okay, we did win 120. I was just curious to see if we took the average of our three guesses, we get to 114, which is not quite 120, but it was kind of like that would have been the closest. So averaging our three guesses, we get closest to the result. So 120 wins. Our next closest competitor is the Braves, who won 103, and this is 1993. So this is like the midst of the Braves dynasty where you have Maddox, Glavine, Smoltz, Dave Justice, and so on. So we're in good company there. The Blue Jays win the AL East, and the White Sox, the Frank Thomas White Sox, win the AL West. Let me get a screenshot of this. We'll do a quick spin through the stats, then we'll do the postseason. And then I was hoping to do two of these, but I think I'm going to just do one, especially since no one's waiting to get full packs today, so or full drops today. So we'll go ahead and just do this one sim, finish it out, and then we'll call it a night. Kind of want to see how the stats ended up working out. So we had three 20-game winners and a 19-6. Adam Burton, our former closer, went 19-6. So that experiment definitely paid off, and we had no problem filling that closer role as Rick Arellano went 4-7 with 49 saves, 2.98 ERA, 1.42 WHIP. So his ERA and WHIP were higher than Burton's were, but I mean he got the job done. He saved 49 games. He don't love that he lost 7. And can I see blown saves if I go to pitching stats too? Oh, he only has 6 blown saves. That's not bad. Save percentage 891. Okay. But we'll screenshot this. We don't really have any flamethrowers though. Our highest strikeout total is Plasinski with 233 and 249 innings. But they all got the job done. We had a couple whips below 1. ERA is not a great stat, but all but one of the starters had ERA below 3. So definitely a high powered rotation there. And then let's check out our batters. And then we'll sort by OPS. So Serafino Amici, our breakout star from last year, continues that 998 OPS with 33 home runs and 124 RBI. Jose Ayala really comes into his own here, 36 bombs, 121 RBI, 295 average. Mark Ellison, our MVP Rookie of the Year, continues his production. And Carlos Romero, he was one that we noticed that his ratings were up. He had 40 home runs, a little bit lower average, but still came out with a 893 OPS and 119 RBI. And then Michael Valverde, a little bit lower on the batting average and OPS, but still productive, 30 home runs, 100 RBI. And Last season we only had one player in double digit steals. This time we had three. Still not stealing a ton of bases, but it's good to see a little more speed on the base pass there. All right, let me screenshot this. I think I might. This might be the second time I'm doing this, but better safe than sorry. So okay, and then let's do the postseason. I think if we finish this day, we should start seeing the postseason tree. Yep, playoff coverage, playoff tree. Oh, this is interesting. I wonder if it's because we changed the name of the team, but it took away our Mets logo. Huh. All right, let's sim to the next round. One games one and two. Yeah, I don't know if this. Maybe I just wasn't noticing it in the past, but all of our sims, it interrupts the playoffs to do a lot of the postseason kind of housekeeping stuff. I kind of seem to remember it happening after the season was over, including the playoffs. But still thinking. Yeah, I don't like that it interrupts the playoffs to do this. That's pretty crappy. It should wait till the like you don't need to import players during the like they're already in the game from the season. Importing minor league players. This is all next season setup stuff. Like this doesn't need to happen right now in the middle of the playoffs. I don't like this at all. I think it's new too. I don't remember this happening in OOTP 24. Oh, we squeaked past the Braves 4 games to 3. Let's see how that happened. Let's see. We won the first 2 games at home 10-4, 9-1 very convincingly. And then look, it's a home game series. We win 2 games in a row at home, basically crushing the Braves 10-4, 9-1. Then we lose 3 games on the road, 3-4, 3-6, 6-7. But then we come home to win 2 games at home, 6-3, 3-2. That's interesting. Okay, all home game wins. All right, let's go back to that playoff tree. All right, let's sim the World Series. We win game one. We win game two. They win game three. We win game four. And we win the World Series. So, yeah, there's definitely continuation of the improvement. The development does continue. I was just surprised how good we were in season one when we were 50% developed. That was surprising. Now, granted, with that accelerated development, by the time we get to the end of phase year one, we're way more than first year players. Like we're second, almost third year players. And if the peak is legend, that's a pretty significant increase in quality. But still, having started at 50, and so, maybe I wasn't factoring the improvement across the first season. Even then, though, I find it surprising that we won so many games in the first year when all the legends were 50% developed. Although the caveat is, especially our starting pitchers, their current star rating versus the potential starting was not 50%. So, Barry Basher asking, how long does it take for leaves to form? Need to DT live. Oh, shoot. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to do my friends list for my theme teams. I was going to do that on stream to show people themes teams, and I forgot to do it. Dang it. Because Barry Basher, as soon as you said how long does it take for the leagues to form, as soon as it goes into that simulating mode, it's too late to do my uh friends list. Man, I've been very bad about doing my friends list consistently. I'm glad EVC has been patient with me. This week I was determined to get it done, and I thought, what better way to do it than to do it on stream and to tell people about theme teams, and then I just forgot to do it. Dang it. Very Factory didn't do friends list either for theme teams for packs only. Well, you and I are in the same boat. At least we have good company, Barry Basher. Yeah, I feel bad for EVC because he goes through a lot of trouble to update that friends list, and then people like me then don't do our jobs and don't do our friends list setup. So I just hope whatever non-theme team takes my place that they don't win the league because then I'll feel really bad about that. One of your theme teams got relegated, so it could be fun. Yeah, one thing I noticed is my theme team got relegated to Stone and then was not in the theme team because I forgot to do the friends list. And then they won the World Series. So the competition in theme team is stiff, man. Because we're all I think because we're all managers who are interested in our teams, for the most part. And there's a lot of good managers in the theme team community. My OOTP is thinking hard, so my mic might start cutting out while it's thinking hard. And Evie's not up now. He's gonna watch the VOD. But I just apologize for not getting my list done. I feel really bad about that for real. Yeah, this calculating the player rating and setting up the next season stuff is getting pretty old. It's definitely like bogging down my system. While I was thinking, I'm just looking on my tablet to see what other drafts I have to do tonight. Oh, we didn't get a game score. Where's my game score? Does it show me my game score if I go to the? I'm just trying to track the game scores from all the simulations we do. Yeah, there's no game score. Oh, season score 1257. Go back to the championship screen. Oh, there it is. Yeah, thank you, Barry Basher. I usually find it in the pop up, and I didn't get the pop up. Now I know I don't need the pop up. Thank you, Barry Basher. You know what? I've been playing base game for like over a decade. Every stream I learn something new. Tonight I learned something new from Barry Basher. So thank you very much. The season score is right here on the screen. All right, let's do the postseason awards, and then I'll find someone hopefully interesting to raid you all into. Yeah, I thought I could find it in the team history, but it wasn't there. But I liked where you showed me. That's a good spot for it. So, was anyone who's in the chat today around when I raided you guys last night into Sensei Martian, the guy who's walking across Japan? I was just wondering if anyone found his stream interesting. I find it super fascinating, but I knew it was risky sending an OOTP stream into like a non-sport stream, but no one was streaming OTP or even baseball, so I figured, why not try showing everybody something interesting? You just stick around for the raid. Yeah, I sent the raid into this guy who, he just has his, I guess his phone camera on as he hikes from the bottom end of Japan to the northern end of Japan. He's an American guy. He's been in Japan for 8 years. He's from Oklahoma. So he speaks. He's an American guy. He speaks perfect English and he speaks pretty good Japanese. He's 30 years old. He's just doing this, just as a thing to do. He's walking across the country, and I don't know. I found it interesting. Tomato's usually asleep for hours by this time. So, what has you up tonight, Tomato? Reliever of the year. Let's see if our new closer wins it. Our previous closer won it twice, so Montgomery wins the NL Rookie of the Year. So our Edmund Correa of the Mets finished third with one first place vote. Our closer who saved 49 games. Our closer who saved. Wait a second. How many games? Our closer who saved 49 games came in fourth in reliever of the year voting. Now, look, I get that saves are not a great stat, and that his ERA was almost 3, and his WHIP was almost 1.5. but you say 49 games. I think you should get more than 3 points in reliever of the year voting. And who's our Edwin Correa who got one vote? So he's a middle reliever, 2.17 ERA. What was his whip? 59 games, 62 and third innings pitched. Okay, 0.93 whip, but still, how does he get a first place vote and more points than our 49 save closer? I don't understand that at all. I'm kind of annoyed by that, actually. What? I don't understand how that happens. Okay, talking about the only reason you're awake is that you're trying to get as many players for your team as possible before the league starts. Does that mean like in terms of like from the card store and from completing missions and stuff? Okay, here's what I have to say in the chat about the AI giving Edwin Correa more reliever of the year votes than our closer who saved 49 games. I'm going to give it the old AI gonna AI. All right, well, Tanguito, I'm glad we can keep you company while you do all that tonight. I always find it nice to have an OOTP stream on in the background while I'm doing OOTP stuff. So hopefully that's what we're doing for you tonight. All right, well, I'm going to copy and paste this ridiculous reliever of the year results. You too? Good. I'm glad. I'm glad to fill that role for you today or tonight. All right, Platinum Stick. We should be winning a bunch of these. All right, Platinum Stick Awards. What? We don't win pitcher, catcher, or first baseman. How is anyone winning pitcher? Oh, it's not a DH league yet. Okay. Second baseman, third base, shortstop, we win. Center field, we only won four. That seems a little odd. I feel like the sports writers in this fictional world are not giving us our due. All right, rookie of the year, we're not going to have anyone eligible. So one reason we're doing 5 years of this is so that it's still during the time we have full player control. Jeff Montgomery, Jeremy Hernandez. Wait a second. How did we have two? Yeah, we had 10 All Stars, right? Tornado and uh, four Silver Sluggers. Edwin Crea. How was Edwin Crea Rookie of the Year eligible? Unless maybe they didn't play enough in the first two seasons. But just from a service time perspective, they should be ineligible. Yeah, no, he pitched plenty of innings, plenty of games. I don't know why he was rookie eligible. That's also crazy. Neither of these guys should have been rookie eligible. The AI does weird stuff when you bring people into the game, especially when you bring people from across time. I had plenty when I do the 86 Mets experiments. I've got Lenny Dykstra winning Rookie of the Year awards all the time, and he was not a rookie in '86. So there's something weird about how the base game treats like how the base game treats imported players in terms of their rookie status. All right, let's sim to Manager of the Year. Oh, we win again. Let's see what I said. I said very few people believed in our ball club when I got here. It just goes to show you what that a bunch of talented ball players playing together can make any old manager a genius. Look at that false modesty from me. Good job. Way to handle the press. A modest Mitsushi joke, not fully recognizing his own stature in the baseball community. Aw, shucks, everybody. I appreciate that. All right, let's save that. And let's go to the two big awards, the Cy Young. All right, let's take a look at our pictures here. I'm going to take a guess at who our Cy Young winner is going to be. I'm assuming it's going to come from our team because our team is so full of studs. Um, do we go win percentage? This is 1993, so wins and ERA are going to carry a lot of weight, and also strikeouts. So, and not so much WHIP, which is more of a modern day. Um, you know, DeGrom doesn't win those two Cy Young awards in 1993, right? He had barely 500 record, and I think he won them on the strength of his WHIP. I don't think he comes close in those seasons in the 1990s. I'm just looking at how low the home run totals are for these pitchers, right? Most of them pitched 200 innings and they gave up 10, 10, 12, 8, and 9 home runs. That's some good home run suppression there. Um, I mean, Adam Burton is kind of the most impressive here, 19 and 6. If I view it as like a 1993 voter, 19 and 6. The lowest vote total might hurt, but he had the lowest ERA on the team of the starters and the lowest WHIP. But they're gonna like win, so I'm gonna guess it's Greg Plasinski, 23 and 6, most wins on the team, 2.85 ERA, third lowest ERA of the starters, and .99 WHIP, second lowest of the starters. So Plasinski is gonna be my guess. Yeah, wins were king back in 1993, right? I think well into the 2000s, wins were king. Wins by far king, and then ERA second, and then price strikeouts third. If I if I reverse engineer the Cy Young votes, Tomato thinks also Placinski or maybe Paul Wilcox. All right, how about you take Wilcox as your dark horse contender, and I'll take Burton as my dark horse contender. All right, let's see who we get. Oh, because of only 3 losses. Good call. Good call. Good call. Yeah, now that you mentioned that, I will not be surprised if you're right. Oh, Klasinski, that means we were both right. They liked Adam Burton second most, and then Paul Wilcox came in fourth. Sandwiched in between was Pedro Martinez. All right, let's copy this. And the MVP is last, and then I'll rage you in somewhere. All right, let's sim to that MVP award. Oh, should we guess? If it comes from our team, Mark Ellison's a reigning MVP, but by his standards, I think he had an off year, right? He didn't hit 30 home runs. He just hit 300. He's been hitting above 300 before that. So I'm going to go with Serafino Amici. We're a year into his coming onto the scene, big time, and I think Romero just didn't hit enough average. So I'm going to go center fielder, premier position, Serafino Amici. But I actually won't be surprised if the MVP is from a different team. because this isn't a dominant. Well, 124 RBIs, 119 runs. That's pretty good. 15 steals, 30-15 club. All right, let's see what happens. Oh, I haven't simmed it yet. Let's sim to the MVP award voting. Ayala from Tunkmado. Serafino Amici. 13 of the first place votes. Man, Mark Ellison still got 11 first place votes. And check this out. We had one, two, three, four, five of the top seven MVP votes. All right. Well, the development continues. That 1.25 development rate definitely starting to show, giving this team some real teeth as we win over 110 games. What was our total? 119? I think it was 119. Yeah, 100. Oh, 120 games. 120 games. Let me make sure I took the screenshot after we played that final game. All right. All right. Well, thanks for being here. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Hope you got your drops. Thanks to Ezra Denny for the raid. Thank you, Tomato, for the follow. Thanks also to Ameriquan10 for the follow. And let me find you somewhere interesting to raid into. Let's see if anyone's streaming out of the park baseball. That's always my first go to. No, we're the only ones doing out of the park right now. So let's see who's streaming baseball. Yeah, see you, Tomato. Really appreciate you being in the chat today. It was it's always more fun and interesting if people are chatting. Do you have a preference on where I raid you into? There's a few people doing the new EA college football game. There's a couple people doing MLB The Show. Let me check out some of these. Let me see if any of these people are actually chatting. I like Cheeky's philosophy on this. If you have like a raid to give, maybe find someone with like a low viewer count who'd really appreciate the raid. How about this guy? He's doing college football 25. I want to peek in a little bit and see what's going on here. Okay, it's not follower only chat, so that's a good sign. This guy's friendly. We're gonna raid into him. He's playing NCAA football 25. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks again for joining, and hope to see you next time.